The late reggae icon Bob Marley admonished us in one of his hit songs, Redemption Song, that none but ourselves can free our minds. The Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, has now come to the realization that no one but itself can stop the sit-at-home order, causing people in the southeast untold hardship. The group says it will confront enforcers of the non-existent sit-at-home order in the region. IPOB stressed that politicians now recruit criminals to attack innocent citizens in the name of enforcing Monday's stay-at-home directive in the region. Wale Adoye, what do you make of this position of IPOB? Is it something that you would call a late-in-arrival directive? When you look at the havoc that has been caused already, how do you weigh this position?
Well, one thing I would like to say generally is that any political struggle at all is like science. You know, you need to weigh every decision. You need to look at the short term, the long term, and the medium term. When the idea of sit at home was introduced, I think there was no critical thinking about the broad implications of that decision. I was involved in the June 12, the annulment campaign. We used to meet in Dr. Beko Rasokuti's house, and we introduced sit at home at that time. For 7 days, people were asked to stay at home. It was successful to a large extent, at least in many parts of Southwest. But after the first 2 weeks, to continue was a problem because there was fatigue setting, and then we had to think of what other creative means, because we didn't want to go out demonstrating so that we'll be shut down. But after 1 week, then we had it again, then we had to stop it and devise other means to assess, and then we started to do pamphlets going from one rural communities to the other. We could not sustain it because there was public fatigue. In this case, when IPOB came with this idea of sit at home, I think they did not look at the fact that there may be a third force that will hijack the process. And that is exactly what seems to have happened. Now, some people just come up and say, okay, we're going to enforce sit at home, and they start attacking people, claiming to be IPOB. If IPOB now say, okay, we want to deal with those people, are there not going to be another third force that will emerge and be attacking to say they are dealing with those that are enforcing sit at home? At the end of the day, you may end up having intra-tribal crisis within IPOB. So I think it's a very dangerous situation because all sorts of people can come out and say, okay, we want to enforce it. They are not even IPOB members. And they come with guns, with violence and all that. And then people will say, okay, it's IPOB that's enforcing, asking people that they should not obey. Whereas they are not IPOB members. So, a lot of critical thinking needs to be put into any political campaign. And I think the process of sit at home has, it has been hijacked, has assumed a life of its own. And people are just using it for their own interest. Politicians have hijacked it. And I think it is time for IPOB to even say, okay, we want to cancel this thing, we want to go back. If not, third force will hijack this process and they will use it to destabilize and cause a lot of crisis in the southeast.
GKB, for you, what would be the implications, or what are the implications of IPOB's quote and unquote the enforcement of what it called those who are imposing sit at home on residents in the southeast?
I think the challenge to me personally is what the elected governors are doing in that zone when it comes to securing lives and property. Which is the first job that they signed up for. And that it now require IPOB to come and clean the mess they created, simply because it seems there's a vacuum in leadership in that zone. Now, the things have reached 2 levels. One is that either they are doing it in the name of IPOB or doing it against IPOB. What this announcement will lead to is the fact that there will now be street gangs hiding under the guise that they are stopping the government, or under the guise that they are stopping IPOB from disturbing the government, which to me has more danger in the lives of the people of the southeast than anything I can foresee. Absolutely. That's why I keep asking, where are the governors? Because at this level of our development, with the constitution that we operate, this should not be happening. It's one thing to say kidnapping and all that, but people are saying blatantly you cannot go about your legitimate duty on a Monday and the governors will do nothing. And that to me is the danger that we are facing. Because people are obeying the rules because they don't want to die. You understand? They don't want to go out and be killed. Because nobody's protecting them. There are no structures to protect them when they go out that can simply assure them that they'll come back alive. That is the fundamental element in this lacuna. Something must be done by the governors, either physically or through persuasion, whatever they can do, to ensure that people who want to go out on Mondays are free to do so. These counter accusations will not abode well for anybody. I can see a lot of bloodletting in the future, and it's unfortunate. We have people who are elected to ensure things did not generate to this level. But here we are.
And BKO, if you also look at it that, okay, IPOB has even added that there will be instances where it will impose its own idea of sit at home, and these are the days when its leader, Nnamdi Kanu, resumes hearing for his treasonable felony charges leveled against him by the government, which also, raises the question, like GKB said, as to the legitimacy of IPOB, indeed, to be making orders like this. Whether it wants to enforce against those who are enforcing the sit-at-home order, and the back and forth.
And since it was IPOB that instituted the sit-at-home policy in the first place, other people can't be using the name of IPOB to force people to sit at home. IPOB has said that the Monday sit-at-home directive has been revoked, and that people should sit at home only on the days that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is brought to court. But what we see is a situation in which cultists have taken over. Cultists now take it upon themselves to force people to sit at home on Mondays. So whatever you want to do in the Southeast, if you like your soul, you don't do it on Mondays. And the zone is losing a lot of business. People are diverting their cargoes to other parts of the country to clear. So it's so terrible. You can't be using the name of IPOB to carry out an order that the IPOB has since revoked. So IPOB knows now that it already has a bad name over this matter. And efforts were made in the past by Igbo leaders to get IPOB to revoke the sit-at-home, especially on Mondays, and limit it to days when Kanu will be brought to court. But what we have now is a situation in which if Kanu appears in court for 2 straight days, it means in the Southeast, people will go to work for 3 days out of 5 days. So is that bad? It's not bad. So I can understand why IPOB, because IPOB had warned that this thing should stop. So it may just degenerate into some form of fisticuffs between the IPOB enforcers and the cultists who are carrying out the sit-at-home order against the directive of IPOB.
BKO, we've run out of time. I'm afraid I'll have to interrupt you, thanking you for braving the odds. I know how network, challenges can hinder smooth conversations, but thankfully we're able to glean so much, insights from you. Brilliant as always. GKB, thank you so much for your wonderful insights as well. And of course, Mr. Wale Adoye, it's good to always, share insights with you and experiences with you on the program. That's our 7 on Journalist Hangout today. We thank you all for watching. You can also join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. From all of us here, thank you for watching. I am Kemi Foladiemo. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.